Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, tamu sana, tamu sana, yes, tamu sana. In this video, I want us to have a look at a post shared out by Rigathi Gachagua about 1 hour ago as I speak. We all know that earlier today, Rigathi Gachagua was chased away at a burial service in Limuru constituency, Kiambu County. He has shared out this. His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, EGH. As Kenyans are well aware, earlier this week the government withdrew the final aspects of my security that was in place after the impeachment process we are contesting. However, we did not raise issue with this decision by government, although expectations were that any Kenyan who has served at the level of government that I was privileged to serve at could be secured by government even after leaving office. However, it now looks like the decision to withdraw my security was to leave me exposed to the kind of attack we have witnessed today. Today I was at a funeral service in Limuru for a young man called Erastus Nduati. While we were to lay the young man to rest, goons attacked us and the other mourners who were present, including children. The gangsters were armed with stones, machetes, iron bars, and sticks. They descended randomly on mourners present and attacked them using the weapons they had, as well as using the plastic seats available. A specific group followed me as I went to my car, which they proceeded to attack with stones and iron bars. We literally drove out of the venue under a hail of rocks. This is very sad state of affairs and a major low for the state, who are clearly complicit in these actions. We just especially remember the family that had a loved one in a casket who had to run to safety despite their profound grief. We will not be scared away from standing with Kenyans who need us to support them in their moments of need. We just expect such a terrible moment of shame will not be repeated. And then Rigathi Gachagua has shared out those photos of his vehicles that were stoned. Rigathi is saying that the security was complicit in these actions. That reminds me of last year when goons raided Uhuru Kenyatta's Northlands farm. We've been told again security forces at that time were complicit. Rigathi at that time was a de facto deputy president. When Uhuru Kenyatta's Northlands farm was attacked, what did Rigathi Gachagua say? What did Rigathi say? In fact, accusing fingers were pointed at him. Tables have now turned against him. He's now crying out for help. Karma nowadays is very fast. Rigathi should not be mourned, should not be sympathized with. This is fate dealing with Rigathi Gachagua. The same dish he did serve others when he was in government. That's the same dish he is being served on. Normally, if you live by the sword, be prepared to die by that sword. That's exactly what is happening here. This is fate. The gods have conspired to deal with Rigathi Gachagua perpendicularly. This is why I sympathize with any person sympathetic to Rigathi Gachagua. This is how life is. This should be a lesson. If Kenyans can't learn from this, if the current crop of leaders, those in government right now, cannot learn from this, they will all face a similar fate. But for Rigathi, this is a fate that is justified. Rigathi can't be sympathized with. And Uhuru Kenyatta's God seems to be awake. I'm very sure Uhuru Kenyatta, wherever he is, he feels vindicated. The gods are revenging on his behalf. I want us to dig deep into this. If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give the video a like. Let's proceed. The big question is, who organized the goons? I'm seeing some people saying Rigathi organized the goons for sympathy. I'm seeing some also saying that the area member of parliament, with the help of Kenya Kwanza government, organized the goons. In politics, anything can happen. Rigathi is a sympathy addict. I'm not ruling out any possibility that he might have organized the goons. Though from where I sit, that's a very remote possibility. Chances are very high that Rigathi Gachagua's opponents organized those goons to counter Rigathi Gachagua's heckling goons. Because we saw that in Embu, we also saw that in Murang'a. In Embu, some goons did heckle Ruto. Normally, people don't just heckle. You'll find that those heckling are clearly paid to heckle. You can have a group of 50 people being paid to heckle. The moment they start heckling, they encourage people to also heckle. So in most cases, heckling normally starts with those who are paid. In Embu, the heckling was started by paid goons. Looking at Rigathi Gachagua's team, they are very desperate for attention. And I'm almost certain that they might have paid goons who heckled in Embu. Those goons started the heckling, then others joined them. That's normally how it happens. So even these ones of today, these were clearly paid goons, maybe to attack Rigathi Gachagua. But now the question begs, we've been told Rigathi is the political kingpin of the mountain. How comes that goons can overpower Rigathi Gachagua supporters? That shows very clearly that Rigathi Gachagua is being overrated. He's not as popular as Kenyans are being made to believe. Do you think Raila Odinga can be outnumbered by goons in the Luo nation? Can such a thing happen? Can William Ruto be outnumbered by goons in the Kalenjin Rift Valley? I don't think so. So the mere fact that goons did outnumber Rigathi Gachagua supporters in Limuru, that's a confirmation. Rigathi is not as popular as Kenyans are being made to believe that he is popular. That comes out very clearly. And then to this burning issue, why is it that anytime goons attacks Rigathi Gachagua's team, they are condemning that? But when goons heckle or attack the opponents they are celebrating. Is that really fairness, ladies and gentlemen? We must all condemn all forms of goonism and thuggery. Just as I did state in our earlier analysis, this should be a lesson and a warning. If Rigathi Gachagua and his supporters can't learn from this, the mountain will be too hot for them to actually coexist. And the person who will lose here is Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi has all to gain if the mountain is peaceful. If there is this wars on the mountain, where some goons are fighting Rigathi Gachagua's supporters, then that in itself can make Rigathi Gachagua unpopular on the mountain. His supporters will not be attending his functions for fear of being attacked. So they'll not express themselves very freely. If there was peace on the mountain, then Rigathi Gachagua supporters would easily express themselves very freely without any fear. So Rigathi has to make sure his supporters are peaceful. Let his opponents talk freely without being heckled. If Rigathi supporters heckle his opponents, the opponents will also organize for Rigathi to be heckled. And that's exactly what we saw today. He was not only heckled, but he had to run for his life. Let me conclude by repeating this. Opposition politics is not easy. Raila went through all this. Rigathi is just starting. He has not yet seen anything. He has not yet seen anything. What goes around comes around. Raila's security was withdrawn several times. All these things we have seen before. And Raila's supporters at that time felt that a miracle was going to happen and Raila Odinga's enemies, political enemies, were going to be punished. Raila was going to acquire power. If you have that bitterness that you want to acquire power to revenge, you may not get that power. That's again the irony of it. If now you are saying that Rigathi will get power so that he can revenge against these people persecuting him, he might not get that power. He might suffer forever. That's again the irony of life. So as Rigathi Gachagua suffers, don't think that because he's suffering today, that he'll now get power tomorrow to avenge on his persecutors. Sometimes it doesn't happen or work that way. Let's meet in our next analysis. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Kenya.